So here we are in House Divided. Just finished the July turn, and I want to show how cautious I am compared to historical or whatever. Uh, Union forces primarily did some reinforcing into St. Louis, and over here at Harper's Ferry. Likewise, and both sides are only allowed two moves. The Confederates moved forward towards Kentucky, which they can enter in the second turn, and they fortified down at Manassas Junction. It's very hard for me to consider taking a risky first move, and actually there probably should be rules requiring the Union to attack over near the Potomac just to, like, I don't know, enforce some sort of historicity to the game. I have the same issue with the Victory Games one. I just cannot take the high-risk gambles that historically took place. Moving into the fall, after the second August turn of 61, the cautiousness continues. Confederates have entrenched all the way across the line. Union's building up forces for potential attack and movement into Kentucky and along the border areas. Some cav in place. The threat made Confederates reinforce into Memphis. After September of 1861, the Union won a battle in the West, destroyed everything in the Trans-Mississippi, basically. That there wasn't anything there, really. But they also won a battle over at Manassas. And that was pretty hard fought, actually. They had tremendous odds, but the command rules helped reduce their chances a bit. And there was entrenchments. There were a lot of casualties, but it's looking pretty bad over there, to me, for the Confederates. They fortified their position at Fredericksburg and built more units at Richmond. They also fortified in Kentucky. Basically, they're hoping the Union will attack and lose at this point. In October, Union forces in the Trans-Mississippi grabbed the last Missouri holding of the Confederacy. Nothing's happening in Kentucky. They're just standing across from each other. But over in the east, the Union slid around and attacked Richmond, and they did lose the battle. And then Confederate cav ran up to Manassas Junction and back, cutting the Union off, so they'll lose a unit that way. An attack would have been a possibility, but it seemed more valuable to just automatically kill a unit. End of 1861, the Union moved down to connect their army again. They can risk leaving Washington relatively undefended because Confederates can't move up the Potomac. They also moved down and grabbed Memphis in a quick battle. Confederates responded by sending a unit up to Vicksburg, which is fortified, and they also filled in the rest of their replacements along the coast to make Anaconda a lot less valuable. Extra guys in Richmond and somebody in Nashville to reinforce with. We'll see how 62 works out. January, February of 62, Grant takes Vicksburg. And Fort Donelson has fallen as well. What's the other one? Fort Henry. Yeah, forgot the names. The Confederates, on the other hand, charged out and attacked that lone Union unit to kill it. That kind of leaves Richmond at risk, but they're hoping they can reinforce at least. End of the March turn in the House Divided, 1862, and things don't look too hot for the Union right now, actually. They took the bait and attacked Richmond, and the reinforcements started piling in, and their army was pretty much defeated. They retreated back up to Fredericksburg, where the Confederates pursued. Now we see crack Confederate units because they're getting too good. Nothing much happening over in Kentucky still, but the Confederates built a cav to start threatening Union supply lines, and they also are filling things in, making the job a little harder on Grant if he wants to pick up some extra cities. After April of '62, not a lot happened. The Union attacked at Little Rock, and their infantry was defeated. Cav got promoted up to veteran. Went off and cut Grant's supply line. That's about the most exciting thing. The Confederates ran back and took Manassas Junction, but they went and hid again. Probably should have a fort marker under most of these. Units here. Yeah, that should be an infantry up there. Anyway. Union drafts took place, which is good because they really needed the extra troops. So they got more pieces on the board now, but they've got to budge things, and it's looking pretty ugly everywhere in terms of moving forward. End of May 1862, a couple big events happened. Sherman marched down and took Bowling Green, defeated a fairly heavily entrenched, strong Confederate force. New troops are available south of that. Meanwhile, Lee wasn't on the board yet, but the Confederates marched out and grabbed Harper's Ferry and are trying to threaten Washington. It's pretty much in response to the Bowling Green loss. They need to do something to try to even the balance.